Joan Rivers was an American comedian, actress, producer, writer, and television host. Born June 8, 1933, Brooklyn, New York, New York. Died September 4, 2014, age 81 years, the Mount Sinai Hospital, New York, New York. Spouse, Edgar Rosenberg, M. 1965–1987, James Sanger, M. 1955–1955. Children, Melissa Rivers. Parents, Beatrice Malinsky, Meyer C. Malinsky. Grandchild, Edgar Cooper Endicott. Joan Rivers' net worth $150 million. Early life. Joan Alexandra Malinsky was born on June 8, 1933, in Brooklyn, New York, to Jewish-Russian immigrants Beatrice, née Grushman, and Meyer C. Malinsky, a doctor. She had an elder sister named Barbara Waxler. Rivers spent her early life in Prospect Heights and Crown Heights in Brooklyn. At the age of 8, she created her first alter ego, J. Sandra Meredith. She attended the Brooklyn Society for Ethical Culture School, a progressive and now-defunct school, and Adelphi Academy of Brooklyn, a college preparatory day school, where she was co-chair of her school, due to her past experiences in theatrical activities. Within 2 years, she performed in the school cavalcades, and in 1949, aged 16, she was vice president of the Dramatic Club. She graduated from the Adelphi Academy of Brooklyn in 1951, at 18. In her adolescence, Rivers relocated with her family to Larchmont, north of New York City. Rivers matriculated at Connecticut College. It was a family legacy to attend the institution, as her sister had done. Rivers has stated in interviews that she was overweight throughout her childhood, adolescence, and in college, and that it had a profound impact on her body image, which she struggled with throughout her life. After 2 years, she transferred to Barnard College, where she graduated in 1954 with a BA in English Literature and Anthropology. Rivers repeatedly said, and it was reported in the Washington Post, that she graduated summa cum laude and as a member of Phi Beta Kappa. However, biographers James Spada and Leslie Bennett found that these were fabrications. As with other statements such as sharing a lesbian kiss in a play with Barbra Streisand, they did both appear in a play named Driftwood, but were never on stage at the same time. Before entering show business, Rivers worked at various jobs such as a tour guide at Rockefeller Center, a writer/proofreader at an advertising agency and a fashion consultant at Bond clothing stores. During this period, agent Tony Rivers advised her to change her name, so she chose Joan Rivers as her stage name. She stated that he stopped sending her to audition because of this. Career. 1950s, 1960s. During the late 1950s, Rivers appeared in a short off-Broadway play called Driftwood alongside Barbra Streisand. According to an interview with Adweek, the play ran for 6 weeks at the playwright Maurice T. Dunn's apartment on 49th Street in New York. In the early 1960s, Rivers performed at various comedy clubs in Greenwich Village, including the Bitter End, the Gaslight Cafe, and the Duplex. It was during this period that she befriended fellow comedians Woody Allen and George Carlin, often sharing meals with them. Rivers also had the opportunity to work alongside renowned musicians Bob Dylan, Barbra Streisand, Carly Simon, and Simon and Garfunkel in the Village. Between 1963 and 1964, Rivers joined forces with Jim Connell and Jake Holmes in the cabaret act Jim, Jake and Joan. Their appearance at the Bitter End in 1964 led to their inclusion in the motion picture Once Upon a Coffee House, marking Rivers' first credit in a feature film. However, the group disbanded soon after. Holmes later recalled an incident that led to their separation. "We were supposed to perform at a rally for Bobby Kennedy, who was running for New York Senator in 1964. Joan showed up wearing a Keating button, and Jim told her to remove it. She refused, staunchly sticking to her political beliefs, and Jim said, 'Who needs you, anyway?' That was the end of Jim, Jake and Joan." Personal life. Rivers was one of only 4 Americans invited to the wedding of Prince Charles and Camilla Parker Bowles on April 9, 2005. Rivers was licensed to carry a gun in New York City. She was threatened with the loss of the license after an altercation with a car rental clerk in 2002. She was a registered Republican.